We're going to talk about Obama and all the top Democrats being fake friends, being phonies. Okay. Obama and other top Dems are fake friends to Biden as he gets COVID. Drop watch imminent. Mamala delivers speech. Trump is live later at RNC. The majority report. Thank you for the raid. And majority report on Thursday. Hope you had a good stream. We're getting in. Barack Hasanabi Obama. Yeah. Trump is live later at the RNC. New details emerge on shooter that confuses the mind that confuses the mind even further. And more news. Get in now. Yeah, he was a gamer, which is not surprising. The likelihood that this dude was in this chat and got banned becomes more obvious every day. Do we have a blast off meme, chat? CNN said the Steam account was fake. No. He is a gamer, though. No, he is. No, the Steam thing that everyone is talking about is fake. But chat, he was a gamer. The Steam account is not real, but that doesn't change the reality that he is a gamer. Do we have a blast off meme or not? Tucker is zinned up. Dude, I'm so mad. How the fuck did this guy get? Dude, there are no zins. There are no fucking zins in Los Angeles, California. We're like desperately looking for it. We're desperately looking for some zins out here right now. Speaking of zins, like, dude, Alex is going on a mission currently. Make a plan to quit then? No, I love zins. I mean, I have alternatives. It doesn't matter. I was on the nicotine gum already. Like that was my starting point. But it's like we're at the precipice of a zimpocalypse, and I fucking hate it. I'm not gonna lie. This is bad. It's not good. Didn't you have like 1 million? How are you out? Because it's not. A lot of people say I consume a lot of Zyn, which I do. But beyond me, my own consumption, like I have a house full of fucking animals, right? They also consume. Like, I'm not the only one who's zinning up in this bitch. My consumption is not for one person. My consumption is for like 3. No, when I say animals, I don't mean Kaya. Yeah, Kaya zooted off that Zin. Do you have urges to smoke? Never. I'll just go exclusively back to nicotine gum if that's the case. CNN narrative all day has been Biden get the fuck out. I think it's gonna happen. I mean, that narrative has not changed really. All right, we blasted off. We blasted off, chat. Let the people know we're live. Let the people know we are alive. Let the people know we're doing the dang thing. Okay. Oh boy, big day, big news. Oh boy, big news. Oh boy. Reopen the P.O. box and we send you in. I'm working on it. More info on the Trump and shooter and police incompetence. I know. So a lot of this stuff I actually covered last night, and I'm going to be recovering it right now because I realized that when I'm on big days like this, on big weeks like this, during the election cycle, I must repeat myself quite a bit because I turn into like 24/7 CNN news coverage basically, where, a lot of the stuff that I talked about last night that Hasanabi production immediately fucking cuts out content over before my team can get to it, son of a bitch. I will get on it. I will cover more. I will cover it again. So we got a lot to talk about, as you know, and I'm glad that CNN is doing this drama as well. And there's can you play more No Pixel later in the future? No. Okay. All right, let's cut this stuff out. This stuff we already talked about. Okay, we got this. So Eric Toller, friend of the show, Eric Toller, New York Times Visual Investigation says, I keep hearing people say that the Trump shooter had no social media. That's not true. He was a big PC gamer. He was on Snapchat, Instagram, Steam, and Discord, among others, like DeviantArt. He just wasn't terribly active and social on the accounts we found. Or put another way, for an introverted 20-year-old guy who spends a lot of time playing games on his computer, his online footprint that we've observed is not super unusual. Well, cross Steam off the list for now with the FBI or whoever contributed to that Senate briefing getting fooled by an obvious fake. That said, I'm pretty certain he did have a Steam account, just not sure what the username is. So the Steam account that was going around is a fake one, but he definitely was a gamer. It is crazy for him not to be a fucking, he had lots of accounts on gaming platforms, plus there are anecdotes from classmates about it. Yeah. Like, come on, bro. Look at the fucking shooter. Like, look at him. Look at his face. Okay? Look at his hair. Look at his attitude. Look at what he did. I'm sorry. I know we're on Twitch, so this is like maybe a little too close to home, but like that motherfucker was a capital G gamer. I didn't need to see his Steam account. I did not need to see his Steam account to know that that was a fucking gamer, dude. Come on. Yeah, 100% gamer physiognomy. Is that how you say it? Yeah, he had the gamer everything, dude. Physiognomy. Yeah. You may not like it, but that's what peak gamer looks like, okay? Oh, by the way, last chopper out of Saigon, Aaron Rupar hitting the, I've made no bones about the fact that I think Biden has gotten a bit of a raw deal, but it seems almost impossible to imagine him forging ahead with the campaign while reports circulate the most prominent Dems, Pelosi, Schumer, Jeffries, now Obama, think he should get out. Aaron T. Rupar, journalist, formerly of Vox.com, is now fallen, okay? Biden has lost the Aaron Rupar confidence. It's Jover. There has never been a moment in this cycle where it has been this Jover. Once Rupar had fallen, it was Jover. This is the fake Steam account. This is not real, bro. Come on. How can you not see that this is fake? July 13th, watch this space. Lee Harvey Oswald's my hero for real. Aim Labs 0 hours on record. Mr. President 132 hours on record. Like, this is such an obvious fucking meme. How the hell did people fall for this? Like, people are already spreading 4chan misinformation saying the shooter was trans. Oh, it came out. Oh, there we go. I was waiting for the fucking shoe to drop. I was waiting for the shoe to drop for them to say, oh, this is like a trans person. Classic. This has 74,000 likes, by the way. I'm so glad that Twitter is this right-wing shithole. Yeah. I was waiting for them to like randomly be like, this is a trans person. And it happened. Rightfully. So you complain about the Republicans, you complain about the Democrats, and I agree with all that crap. Who can we start to get behind support for 2028 and the future of other candidates? Come on, bro. 2028 is crazy. The Macius, thank you for the playlist. What is this? We finally found one. I will reiterate that I am voting for Joe Biden in November and only Joe Biden. Don't play with me. Dude, I love that. The Biden are busters, dude. That's my fucking goat. You did? You bought them out? We just cleared out a fucking tobacco shop. Let's fucking go, dude. What did you get? Let's see. Let's see the bounty.
This is the only coffee they had.
Okay.
And then this is all they had. This was all the...
What did they... Okay, we got a bounty. We got a bounty.
There's only 1.6 though.
There's only 1.6? Oh, shit. Okay. My goat. Thank you. How much was it?
Quite a lot.
$290? Bro, all of this was $300. We're getting cooked out here, dude.
It's like 20 packets.
The towers are back! The towers are back, baby! Long live the Zintifada! Let's fucking go! All right, we're so back. We're so back, boys. We're so fucking back. Oh my God, we are so back. It's never been more back than this very moment. Woo! Okay, I'm fired up. What's your favorite Zin? You can't tell what my favorite flavors of Zin are? Your shooter monologue yesterday? If you lean into Zins more unironically, you might be able to radicalize more right-wing frat boys. Maybe. There are decades where nothing happens, and then there are weeks where the two most evil men alive almost die in the two funniest ways possible. That's awesome. Are they all 3 milligram? There's 1 6er in there. There's 1 6er batch. It's harder to find the 6ers. They found the shooter's TikTok and it's nuts. This is a poop sock. Shut the fuck up. JD Vance's Venmo got exposed? Oh no. Dude, JD Vance is so fucking stupid. I told you, he is so compromised. He's the most compromised motherfucker out there. Anyway, what is this? Zin Towers. If Kamala reacts like this to Trump on the debate stage, she's so cooked. She's so good at locking in and looking normal when she has to. Lamau.
Harris. So there's a clear difference between the candidates in this race.
Okay, that's like her opponent was throwing though. Like, yeah, she took advantage of that. But like, what is the expectation? She just like also dabs? Please fall for the poop sock, please. Yeah, no, you're fucking annoying. She has gone from posting eye to we to I. I have often challenged Trump and so-called leaders who say that an abortion ban is the best interest of women and children, yet stay silent on maternal mortality. The hypocrisy abounds. Oh my God, she's saying I. Yo, they say there is no I in team, okay? But there is a me in team, and the me is Mamala, dude. Yo, woman president time? That's crazy. It'd be really cool because like it also hurts Hillary Clinton. So that's like, I'm kind of riding with Mamala more than I have before because it would genuinely be so upsetting for Hillary Clinton. You know what I mean? It's awesome. It's so sick. They just like brought her on. They brought her on because she's a non-entity and she fulfills like a marker, like a check mark for the Biden administration to say like, look, we love black people. Like literally, they openly said that. Okay. She's a qualified person, but she's not very charismatic. Right. But like the Biden campaign was literally like, oh no, we want a black woman here. Okay. That's how much of a non-entity she was. Like they went with a Californian senator and honestly, it is the funniest outcome that like the first woman president also happens to be the first black woman president, also happens to be the first Asian president. And it literally happened because they were like, oh, well, we don't want anyone to outshine Joe Biden. Oh my God. Edinger with some Nancy Pelosi news. Nancy Pelosi this week. I feel like LeBron fandom is like unk status now because all of the fucking compies that I see, all the compies that I see of LeBron feature music from like early 2010s. We have become the old heads. We are becoming like the Jordan heads, you know. Oh, you don't understand. This generation's ball was so much better. I mean, Bron himself is unk, obviously, and now officially like the fandom is unk status. I grew up at a time when the fandom obviously was not unk status, where the unk status was like the Jordan heads who were like, you don't get it, like Jordan balled in a time when players weren't fucking pussies and, you know, people actually hit one another. Their stakes were higher. You know what I mean? And now it's like, and now it's just straight up like unk status. I hated this motherfucker from my 20s, and since I'm turning 30, this is my hill. This is my hills both ways in the snow. He's the GOAT. I mean, he is the GOAT. Who has done it like him, dude? Who has been so dominant for 21 fucking years straight? Like, it's just crazy to think about. Like, there are dudes in the motherfucking NBA. There are dudes in the motherfucking NBA that were born and they only saw him. They only saw him be the demon that he is their whole lives. They grew up and now they're playing against him. Rudy Gobert. Wait, what? Okay, shut the fuck up, dude. Shut up. Okay. Don't get me started on this. This is so stupid. This is the dumbest. Please stop. This is a very stupid conversation. Daily LeBum posting. Okay, dude, LeBum. Yeah, okay. Listen, dude. Listen, this is just because we're doing RNC watch doesn't mean you have to put the clan robes on, okay? What an insane statement. Like, what an insane thing to say, dude. What are we doing here? How is my community a community filled to the brim with Klansmen, okay? This is crazy. This is madness. Calling LeBron a bum is akin to putting on the white robe and poking holes in it, okay? Stop it now. Stop it. What's next, dude? Oh, yeah, you really like the intelligent players. You really like the hardworking, intelligent players, you know? Like Jokic, who is also awesome, but, you know, I just don't like the raw talent players out there, you know what I mean? You need a real hardworking lunch pail kind of guy. Huh? Larry Bird is my GOAT. Okay, chat. You know, I get it. I get it. Of course, leftist doesn't let me criticize his favorite players and calls me a fascist. Yeah, no, it's fine. You guys are just, you know, I said I wanted hogs. I didn't realize that would bring, you know, just a bunch of straight up white supremacists. Yeah, this is supposed to be the NBA, not street and hood ball. Exactly. Oh, yeah. All these guys nowadays do is just everyone can dribble hard if you could just carry the ball like these guys do nowadays, you know? Lunch pail, high IQ, great shooter in space, not flashy. For those of you who don't follow sports at all, okay, that like those four aspects is basically like saying the N-word over and over again for a sports analyst, okay? Like that right there is a dog whistle. It's basically like, you know, consuming, it's basically the equivalent of like consuming a sport that is like dominated by black athletes while also being incredibly racist. Oh man. Anyway, he's a real gym rat, coach's kid, first one in the gym, last one out, makes up for his lack of elite athleticism. Okay. Is Stephen A. Smith a racist then? Yes. Sometimes. Okay. Let's get started. No, what is this thread? Stop sending me this thread. It's full of fake news, bro. Oh, a thread of LeBron James lying for absolutely no reason. Get out of here, bro. That's like 3 years old at this point. Okay, please stop. You just described every white NFL fan. Yeah, it's the black quarterbacks can't throw and they get injured easy attitude. Okay. Oh, you can't have a quarterback be a black guy. Come on. Classic. I don't even watch the NFL and even I know. Come on, you can't have a black quarterback, dude. you just have to have a white guy in that spot. Yeah. Yeah, put the black guy in a normal position like running back. You need someone you can trust as a QB. Yeah. Anyway, one thing. This is the fucking dude from last night that we were watching. He was live on IG.
Bro, just pull over and put your hands up, bro. My baby is in the car, Dayon. Bro, my baby is
Insanity.
in here, bro.
I mean, he was whipping that shit around.
Just pull over. Let us out, bro.
Why are you looking at the bro? He was one-handing it. Yeah, no, this is the guy. 100% this is the guy. Okay? This is absolutely the guy. Are you kidding me? We saw him. We saw him get arrested.
No, just let us out, bro. Let us out.
Was this in Missouri? No, man. This was in Los Angeles.
Oh, I'm not even supposed to be in this shit right now.
Bro, let us out, Dayon.
Turns out he was not streaming on Kick. He was just IG streaming. But he was streaming.
Let us the fuck out.
Oh, stop this.
Bro, no, I'm not relaxing when you got my baby in the car and they got guns pointed to the car and they about to hit the car, bro. You're not thinking about your baby right now. You finna get our baby.
This is the dude we watched yesterday.
You already did it the first time, bro. Don't do this shit again, bro.
Well, I love y'all. I'm never gonna see y'all again.
Bro, we love you more, bro. You is gonna see us again, but you gotta pull over, bro. You have to, bro. Pull over with your hands in the air, Dayon.
Bro, it's over with.
I think it is wild that like, yeah, no seatbelt either. It's really fucked up. It's wild that like these chases happen because it's like it just puts so many people's lives in jeopardy. Why are we watching this man abuse someone? This is literally from this is from yesterday. We watched this from top down. I went on his Instagram. Dude's insane. He's been in and out of jail since he was a teenager. Yeah. This video's solid alibi for the baby. For the baby's guilty. Yeah. That's why they arrested the baby too. You're making me like him more. Too much skills going on here. I mean, technically, he's a known crib who went viral for getting caught live in a house. Getting caught live in a house burglary. Dude, what? There's cribfluencers like this? That's crazy. Like they just straight up have cribfluencers. Like he's just that I don't even know what to say about that. I mean, he didn't crash. No, I know. He's a decently skilled driver. He clearly has initiative, you know. Imagine putting that into something that is otherwise good and not bad like this. Was the car already damaged? No, it had a little bit of side damage by the time we started watching.
Bro, Dayan, pull over. Bro, Dayan, pull over. Dayan. Bro, you don't give a shit about your baby, bro.
I
Is
do.
you serious?
I love both of y'all.
Then pull the fuck over,
What the
bro.
fuck you think I live for?
Bro, you finna get us fucking killed, bro. They got guns pointed to the car, bro. Bro, oh my god, Dayan, you can't be fucking serious right now, bro. Pull over, let us out.
For some shit that
Bro,
I didn't
let us
do.
out. Don't fucking matter who the fuck did it. Let me the fuck out with my fucking baby.
Anyway, someone said, "Why do you live stream everything?" Anyway, that was what was going on. On the other side, he got arrested. So did his girlfriend. Like, so did his baby mama. But you know, I hope she's all right. This is living proof that it's, you know, she had nothing to do with anything that was going on. The woman wasn't arrested and released. No, they detained her when we were watching, but they said they let her go. That's what they're saying. Chad is saying they let her go. Baby, a real one for not crying though, for real. Yeah, that's a real ass baby. He posted on his story later that he's sorry he let everyone down. The fuck does that even mean? Like, he let everybody down because he couldn't get away? Is that what it is? Hey, Hassan, I've been a fan for a long time, so I hope you don't get mad at me for saying this, but you have an audience that is on the younger side and looks up to you, so you unintentionally promoting Zins and hyping it up is something you should reconsider, in my opinion. You're right, I should reconsider it. Specifically because I don't want motherfuckers to get all the Zins. I want it for myself. So you're right about that, honestly. Also, I don't think this audience is on the younger side. That's number one. Number two, more importantly than that, is that nicotine products help me specifically get off of cigarettes. So the reality is, if you're starting off with nicotine products, is stupid. Don't fucking do it. But if you're smoking cigarettes, it's very good to substitute it with nicotine gum. Nicotine gum saved my life. Okay. Nicotine gum literally saved my life. It is the reason why I was able to quit smoking. And I will always advocate for that. Hassan taught me to smoke crack. The only thing I'm trying to teach you is to avoid the top of the hour ad break, which is 3 minutes long and coming to you right now. Okay, I don't want you to see it. So I'm telling you, at the top of the hour when there's a 3 minute ad break, all you need to do is subscribe for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime. Oh, so you lost weight from smoking cigs? No, that was years and years ago. I was fucking shredded post cigarettes as well. Death Skate, thank you for the 5 gifted. Jay, thank you for the 5 gifted. Here's the 3 minute ad break now, by the way. 10 people won't see because they got gifted. Yeah, for what it's worth, even the FDA agrees that moving down the continuum of harm from combustibles like cigarettes to oral nicotine or vapor products is good. Yeah, the thing is, like, obviously tobacco products are significantly worse than nicotine products. Nicotine as a standalone thing that you consume is bad. It's like caffeine. It has negative side effects, negative consequences, but it's like not even in the same fucking field as tobacco products, which have so much worse shit in it. Anyway, let's get to it. FBI has uncovered searches on Trump's shooter phone from Trump rally. We'll get to it now. We covered it last night, but there's more information on the shooter. Now, obviously, as you know, Thomas Matthew Crooks, age 20, shot at and missed Donald Trump on the July 13th rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, in Western Pennsylvania. He's a Western Pennsylvania boy himself. And obviously he's a registered Republican, which was already a weird, unique moment. The fact that he was a white boy, like a cis het white boy in appearance, wearing like a gun YouTuber merchandise, kind of immediately got people to quiet down on the many different avenues that they usually explore in the aftermath of a shooting like this, where they just start blaming entire marginalized communities for the actions of one person. But because he was white, thank God, people didn't immediately rush to that conclusion, even though people are now rushing to that conclusion. As a matter of fact, they're just lying. They just decided he's a white male, but now he's trans, according to some psychopaths online. No indication that he's trans at all. Having said that, there are some new developments in the story. The new developments, however, make the situation even a little bit more confusing. What is the political motive is what people are looking for right now. And it seems like he might have been an extreme centrist in certain aspects here. Let's take a look.
Investigation into the attempted assassination of former President Trump. We are now learning what the FBI found on the shooter's phone. Chief Justice correspondent Pierre Thomas has the latest now.
This morning, new details from the phone of gunman Thomas Matthew Crooks. Sources telling ABC News that the FBI's examination of his phone revealed that he searched for the date of the Trump rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, as well as dates for the upcoming Democratic National Convention in Chicago. The searches uncovered no indication of his political views, but agents did find images of both President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump. And now new video.
Bro, this part is the funniest to me because it's like, why are you searching for images of the fucking president and also the former president? Like, you don't know what they look like? Like, who the fuck's like, yeah, I need to figure out, this Joe Biden guy, what's he look like? Like, how is that shit not plastered in your fucking brain already? Like, to make a sick edit? Yeah, he was making a compy.
Video showing the moment the former president, wounded from his attempted assassination, arrived at a nearby hospital.
There he is. He's walking. He's walking.
On Wednesday, the FBI and Secret Service briefed congressional leaders about the assassination attempt. The morning of the event, congressional sources telling ABC News the shooter came to the fairgrounds for an hour and later returned at 5 p.m. In this footage obtained by ABC affiliate WTAE, law enforcement believes this is Crooks, wandering just outside the boundaries of Saturday's rally at 5:06 p.m., approximately 1 hour before he opened fire. Law enforcement sources tell us he was spotted walking near the magnetometers, did something suspicious, and was approached by authorities. He backed up and faded into the crowd. At 5:10, according to congressional sources, law enforcement identifying Crooks as a person of interest. Police believe he used AC units to climb up and gain access to the roof of a building, and eventually made his way to the perch where he had a direct line of sight to the former president.
There was local police in the area that were responsible for the outer perimeter of the building.
5:30 p.m., police see he has a rangefinder, which can be used to establish distance for target practice. And at 5:52 p.m., a sniper spotting Crooks on the roof, roughly 20 minutes before he takes his first shot. At 6:02, Trump walks onto the stage.
Someone's on top of the roof. Look.
The crowd noticed a suspect on the roof. An officer climbs up the building, but falls to the ground after Crooks aims his weapon at him. At 6:12, the first shots ring out.
Take a look at what happened.
A Secret Service counter sniper from a distance away sees the commotion. He has to make a split-second decision in the span of 26 seconds. He decides.
Bro, 20 fucking minutes, big dog. That's crazy. Those numbers are wild, okay? They also got up there. There was a cop that got up there and was holding on. I'm so cooked. I got to stop memeing. What? No. He was outside. He was like walking away.
Tries to fire, killing the gunman. And we learned of a new potential gap in the plan. Sources telling ABC News the Secret Service requested that a local police cruiser be stationed at the same building where the shooter was perched. But local law enforcement said they did not have the resources to provide that cruiser. Members of Congress demanding answers. Overnight at the RNC, 4 Republican senators confronting the Secret Service director near the convention floor.
Can you give us an explanation? You owe President Trump answers.
Donald Trump's running mate, Senator J.D. Vance, took center stage overnight at the RNC.
Okay, wait, another video?
Look at the arrow on the bottom. See the big red arrow, right? So that's when I left office. That was the lowest point, and that comes right from the government services, comes right out of Border Patrol. Take a look at that. So that arrow is the lowest amount of illegal immigration.
Famously, the police are so desperately defunded, dude. They're just so defunded, brother. That's what it is, you know? When I'm thinking of a group of people defunded, I'm always thinking about the military and law enforcement in general. It's like, bro, if they're defunded, there's just no other, like, what's left? What's left? They are the most well-funded, most adequately funded organizations on the and that is like, you know, a part of the government.
Ever in recorded history into our country. And then the worst president in the history of our country took over. And look what happened to our country. Probably 20 million people. And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
I mean, new video, he just takes a selfie while the dude's getting shot. This video sucks, brother. Illegal immigrants saved Trump by making him turn his head. Yeah. Overfunded libraries and teachers. Yeah. When I'm thinking of a group of individuals that are sucking up these government funds, I'm thinking of teachers. I'm thinking of people who fill up potholes. I'm thinking of the dudes who are working on the roads, electricians, you know. I'm thinking of people that are like building out our infrastructure, librarians, libraries in general. What was it? Oh, okay. Anyway, good stuff overall. This video sucks. But yeah, the new information that has been revealed is that he was looking to potentially he was looking at depressive disorder. He's Googling that. Probably has some shit not going all right in his brain, which was pretty obvious overall. But of course, that hasn't stopped the psychopathic weirdos on the right from going and lying and saying, anyone wondering why they aren't using this photo of the shooter? I wonder why they're not using this photo of the shooter. Possibly because it's a random trans person that you found online. Okay? Maybe that's the reason. This seems to be a random person with 4chan users trying to spread falsehoods. Also, the picture by Paul Hookham is clearly edited, made it to look as if it comes from TikTok. See the original pic in the link. You know? But that's where we're at. Holy crap, Hookham, is that real? And then they have this like compy of shooters all being like non-binary or trans or whatever, and it's like, dude, we are officially at a level of mania, officially at a level of madness. Biden has taken Paxlovid. Okay, we are officially at a level of madness and mania where it's just you can make up literally anything, and a decent percentage of people, depending on how much they hate that group of people, will believe it. Okay? It's so unimaginably psychotic. A viral post on Twitter and Facebook is claiming that Trump's shooter was actually a trans woman who was shared by far-right accounts and Alex Jones. The problem? It's of an unrelated trans woman named Rose. I spoke with Rose today. The post alleging that a trans woman was the actual shooter of Donald Trump went mega viral yesterday, and today, like many times before, it is of an unrelated transgender person. Read my full story here where I interview her. One of the major accounts pushing this information is Paul Hookham, who posted a picture of Rose with the caption, "Wonder why they didn't use his picture." The account claims to have been unbanned by Elon Musk after being banned for 4 years. The account was then shared by larger influencers, including Alex Jones, who has a history of disinformation. It's just so fucked up. It's so fucked up. No one cares about the truth anymore, man. This is the beginning of the end. I mean, people have always had these biases, right? People have always people have always had biases. People have always spread misinformation. It's just that when there's no check on this whatsoever, when there's no control over this even a little bit, and people do not trust mainstream information at all, right? Hey, Central Committee, thank you for the raid. Hope you had a good stream. When people have no interest, no regard for the truth whatsoever, and there's a lot of mistrust in mainstream outlets. Some of it is actually well-deserved mistrust, by the way, because mainstream media drops the ball quite frequently, especially when it comes to foreign policy. That matters to a lot of people. Okay, when the Iraq War happened, and the New York Times and all these other outlets promoted narratives that were complete falsehoods without doing adequate journalism and running cover for American foreign policy. That definitely played a significant role in a lot of people no longer trusting media as much. Okay? During COVID, it happened for bad reasons. A lot of people's brains were broken by COVID, and for unwarranted reasons, people were like, yeah, I don't trust the media at all. COVID is fake, or I don't trust the media at all. Vaccines are making you gay. And basically they just like looked for confirmation bias from independent, unverified outlets, and media literacy has gotten worse and worse. TikTok also plays a big role in this as well. TikTok can be good, but it also can be very bad at the same time. So now it's more so, it's not about like CNN, it was a mostly peaceful assassination. We need to stop misinformation laws. Both sides do it. CNN, it was a mostly peaceful assassination. CNN never said that. You're just making that up. If anything, CNN has been kind of glazing Trump quite a bit since the assassination attempt. Like, so I don't know what the fuck you're on about right now. Said bro's a Facebook main. Yeah. That's a hog doing the mostly peaceful protest meme about BLM, because it was, for the record. Yes, 98% of Black Lives Matter protests that happened all around the United States of America were mostly peaceful. Every single one of those Black Lives Matter protests that turned into not peaceful rallies that turned into riots happened as a consequence of police brutality. Okay? The police were the escalating factor there. Except you've already been so, you've already beamed this kind of misinformation into your mind so much that you can't even think about it critically at all. Hassan, it can't be mostly peaceful. There were millions of dollars in damages. No, I know. Has there ever been a time when the media was trusted in the USA? Can't think of a time since yellow journalism. I think over the course of many years, I think the mistrust in the media has grown a lot, especially as like there are more outlets overall. Like people still personally think that like Portland was on fire nonstop. Okay, 95 isn't true, Lamau. No, it is true. There were studies conducted on it. That was where the coverage was coming from. Studies were conducted in the United States of America, mapping out every single fucking protest that happened. Doesn't matter though, because it's the same narrative with the crime panic. It's the same narrative with the immigrant crime panic, right? You see these emotional, impactful images play over and over again in repeat, and it warps your perception, okay? It warps your perception. It makes you think this is happening all the time. This is happening in my fucking backyard. I live in Los Angeles. I live at the heart of like all of this crime, this violent crime that's occurring, right? And I would tell people all the time, like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, no, there is no massive increase in violent crime occurring in Los Angeles. I'm looking at the fucking data. I'm looking at my own personal experience on a day-to-day basis. And people were telling me, people living in Ohio were telling me, no, you're fucking stupid. You're just lying. But you're in a gated community. I'm not in a fucking gated community, dumbass. That's a lie. Anyway, that's a lie I repeat over and over again because I don't want motherfuckers to come here. But yes, I do. I live in a gated community with turrets, okay? Jank was telling you, Lowell, I know. And that's what's so crazy about it. Because if you remember the conversation that I had with Jank, I kept giving him information. I kept giving him empirical data. And he kept resorting to an emotional moment that he had. Okay? And sometimes that's all it takes. Didn't you say your friend's car got stolen recently? Of course. Guys, crime is a constant. What are we talking about? There is no world where there is zero crime. In Japan, when there's more public transit, for example, Grand Theft Auto doesn't happen with higher frequency, but they steal bikes all the fucking time. Like, depending on where you are, depending on where you live, of course there's going to be crime. What are we talking about? The entire point of this is not to deny that crime ever exists. Okay? The point is not that crime, the point I'm making is not that like there's no crime at all. The point that I'm making is you can't look at just individual acts of crime and go, I'm inferring that crime is actually out of control. You literally are supposed to look at it and go, let's look at the data. Let's look at the broader picture. Is there more crime happening right now than the year prior? If the answer is no, then crime is on a fucking downwards trend. Crime has historically been on a fucking downwards trend for decades, okay? For decades. But it doesn't matter. People just like refuse to recognize that. Portland's murder rate increased 450% during COVID. There's also snapshots. Like, people also love cherry picking data, okay? They love cherry picking data and going, oh, well, murder rates, one specific type of crime increased. That was the only type of crime that increased, Not in your fucking backyard, by the way. Not in anybody else's backyard. The only type of crime that increased was murder, specifically in certain neighborhoods for one fucking year in the immediate aftermath of COVID. Because during COVID, no one was, interacting with one another with the same frequency that they interacted with one another in the immediate aftermath of the restrictions, lockdown restrictions easing up. Okay, but even then, it doesn't matter. Even then, it was still lower than prior fucking years, and it's only gotten lower and lower. But because of the increase from COVID in 2020, and in the beginnings of 2021 to opening up the floodgates, okay, not to say that like COVID went away. Of course it didn't. But, I mean, Joe Biden has it. Was there ever an argument to be made that decline was due to underreporting? No. People love it. Only went from 37 in 2019 to 57 murders in Portland. What is he talking about? I don't know. He probably saw some fucking stat and it broke his brain because it corresponds to their personal biases. Because every single person in the media, from local news all the way to network television, kept fucking repeating this over and over again. Okay? They also don't prosecute for theft under 2K. This is another one of my favorite fucking idiotic takes, because you know where else they don't actually do that? Texas, dude. There's places all around the country, and that they don't prosecute theft under 2K rule has been around since like 2007. So you're fucking delusional if you think that this is a new thing that happened. Cenk was repeating this lie as well. It's a common process. What you have to look at is arrest records. You have to look at the population of you have to look at the prisoner population per capita in places like California. They are definitely overflowing with prisoners. The idea is not that there are too little prisoners in prison in the United States of America, which has the highest prisoner per capita density on the fucking planet, by the way. 4% of the entire planet's population, 25% of the entire planet's incarcerated population. Oh, and I can't believe we're still having these arguments. The reason why I brought up the crime statistic, okay? The reason why I brought up the rampant lies surrounding crime was because a lot of reactionary ideology thrives with just misinformation. Okay? A lot of reactionary sentiment, sometimes expressed by Democrats as well, abso-fucking-lutely thrive with hysterics, with hysterical hallucinations, okay? And the actual reason as to why people misanalyze the increase of crime is because poverty has increased, okay? Or income inequality has gotten worse, specifically due to housing becoming less and less affordable in big cities, okay? That has created a larger number of homeless people. That is visible poverty that people see as crime, okay? When poverty becomes more visible, people immediately assume like, oh, crime is just out of control. It's all over the place. And that's where it comes from. That's how you see it in your day to day. When you're walking down the street and you see a homeless guy or you see these massive fucking homeless encampments, you think that's crime. There's a lot of crime happening around me. Okay? That's why it doesn't correspond to the stats that you're seeing. And the media is finally doing the correct thing and adequately analyzing it by looking at the data. Homeless people are obviously going to commit crimes. How else is someone going to do with no job, no house, no support going to eat? Okay, now we're basically just operating with the assumption that I just gave you, okay? Yeah, homeless people are just like really good at doing crimes, okay? This isn't to say homeless people don't fucking do crimes. Of course they do. But the idea that like homeless people are just like contributing to this like increase in crime, but it doesn't actually reflect in the data is so silly. So what are they? Are they just like the best type of criminals? Homeless people are really good at crime. They're like the experts of crime. They do it in a way where like it's happening and it's impactful, but they do it in such a way that it doesn't even get logged. Okay? Like they do it in a way where it doesn't even get fucking logged. Like people don't even know that they've been robbed at that point because they're that good at it. So it doesn't even reflect in the fucking data at all. Anyway. So, yeah, somehow they're still poor. No, it's because they like It's because they like being homeless. That's why they're still poor. They're not even poor. They just have a lot of money. They just like being homeless, remember? Homeless people love living on a fucking tent and shitting on the side of a road. That's like their favorite thing. So anyway, why did I talk about this? Because this is very dangerous. It's very dangerous that like misinformation that corresponds to your biases gets so much pickup nowadays, more so than ever before, especially at a time when trust in media is lower than ever, right? So there's no place that people can look to that they trust, that they can use as their North Star, basically, to be like, I don't know if this is correct or not. So that's the situation that we're experiencing. Like, trans people are underrepresented in the population. They are so unimaginably marginal. It's less than 1% of the population. It's tiny, minuscule fraction. Okay? So, of course, they're also unimaginably underrepresented in the population of mass shooters. Okay? But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because it's a great narrative. It's a great narrative. You know who's overrepresented in the population of mass shooters? White people. Of course, white men specifically. But now, this is a great way to just turn around and be like, no, this is not a white man. It's actually a trans person. It's actually a trans woman. That's the way that they've basically come up with a perfect counter. Back in the day, people used to say, oh, if it's a white guy, he's just like a depressed loner. He's a shooter. It's because they bullied him. Okay? It's because they bullied him. It's fine. It's whatever. This doesn't reflect this doesn't, obviously no one is going to make an inference about white men in general because white men is the dominant force in society. So obviously people have the capacity to analyze it as not like a monolithic force of evil in the same way that people analyze it for trans people, in the same way that people analyze black people, in the same way that people analyze migrants, brown people, right? We celebrated too early? What do you mean we celebrated too early? It's a lie. There's no evidence that the shooter was fucking trans at all. What are you talking about? Anyway, the fuck you saying about white men? As you know, I'm an anti-white racist. Anyway, as I keep saying anyway over and over again, I keep repeating Joe Brandon, Joseph Robinette Brandon. How do we get them back to reality or change their minds? I don't think we can do that. I just don't think that is like if people are that desperate. If people are that desperate to find this like prevailing narrative and they're just like hallucinating at this point, they don't even care. I don't think they care about the truth. I think they care about their own narrative. I think they care about their own biases. Obviously, this shouldn't stop you from trying to educate people and it shouldn't stop you from advocating for the right things. But having said that, just know that it's going to be quite difficult if someone is just running along with this narrative that it's like, no, it's a trans person for sure. All you can do is like point them in the right direction and try to have this conversation. If you want to do it, if you have friends who are like in this camp, if they've been like crazy radicalized, you can attempt it. But let's get to J.D. Vance, John Don Vance.
Donald Trump's running mate, Senator J.D. Vance, took center stage overnight at the RNC. Donald Trump is set to give his speech tonight and accept his party's nomination just 5 days after the attempt on his life. Rachel Scott is there in Milwaukee for us. Good morning to you, Rachel.
Hey, Robin, good morning to you. It's the fourth and final night of the Republican National Convention, and last night all eyes were on Donald Trump's running mate, Senator J.D. Vance. He's only been in office for 18 months, and he leaned on his Midwestern roots to make the case for the Republican ticket.
Overnight, Donald Trump's new running mate, introducing himself to the nation.
My name is J.D. Vance from the great state of Ohio.
J.D. Vance, the 39-year-old first-term senator from Ohio, taking the stage at the Republican National Convention.
I'm overwhelmed with gratitude to say I officially accept your nomination to be Vice President of the United States of America.
Picked in part for his ability to preach Trump's populist message, denouncing trade deals, immigration, inflation, and laying it all at the feet of President Biden with a sharp reminder of the president's age.
For half a century, he's been the champion of every major policy initiative to make America weaker and poorer. And in 4 short years, Donald Trump reversed.
You always said Trump was white Obama. Now this is the real white Obama. You think J.D. Vance has the charisma for white people that Barack Obama had? Are you kidding me? JD Vance is nowhere near. Bro has zero riz, dude. His aura is out of control. It's really bad. That Holly, sadly, no, you guys are wrong, brother. You guys are liberals, okay? Or at least lib adjacent. You literally think that a guy with a neat little image like Josh Hawley is actually seen as like a real salt of the earth kind of guy by Republicans that want to see that kind of marketing. JD Vance is a TED Talk speaker, okay? Literally and figuratively. So is Josh Hawley. These guys are well-spoken. They got elite education. They're liberals at their heart. JD Vance openly was a never Trump Republican and got the most play from MSNBC and that crowd. He has no fucking riz whatsoever. And I think his eyes low-key make him less trustworthy, I think. He looks like he's got eyeshadow. And I think that personally, like Donald Trump's reasoning for bringing JD Vance was maybe because he thought he could get the MSNBC watchers, like some of those more moderate, but still very conservative voters, back on board with the ticket. Beyond the fact that he's also a money faucet. He is described as a money faucet for tech bro donors that are openly coming out as reactionary Republicans now.
Decades of betrayals inflicted by Joe Biden and the rest of the corrupt Washington insiders.
Vance grew up in poverty and the rest.
Depending on what level of right-winger you are on, some will get mad at him for miscegenation as well. But I don't think that he wins. I don't think that he is perceived as a positive figure in the Rust Belt. I don't. He's too much of a lib. His commentary, he's too green as a politician. He's only had 18 months in the Senate, and he hasn't actually figured out how to communicate his message in a way that like responds, in a way that like Ohioans respond positively to. Most people can see the resentment that he feels towards the Appalachian population, which is what his entire book was about, for the record. Beards equal untrustworthy in politics. That's also true, but you have to remember something. This dude looks so much worse without the beard. Holy shit.
Belt served in the Marine Corps and attended Yale Law School. While working as a venture capitalist, he rose to fame with his 2016 working class memoir, Hillbilly Elegy, a bestseller turned Ron Howard film.
You got to decide. You want to be.
He was an ugly ass child that was reflected well in this Netflix rendition as well. I almost want to rip this and just like watch it, pull the trigger and just do a watch party for this fucking thing on stream.
Somebody or not.
Vance repeatedly relying on that biography, especially as he tries to appeal to the Midwestern swing states that will decide this election.
I promise you this, I will be a vice president who never forgets where he came from.
And he leaned on his
Oh, this was awesome. I saw this moment. Donald Trump falling asleep during his son's speech and also falling asleep during the fucking JD Vance speech. That's awesome. That's perfect. Love that. I won't forget because I'm going to make you your problem that I hate you. Vance should have received the GI Bill from his time in the Marines, so his potential $200K school loan story is bullshit. Blaming Mexicans for your mom being on perks is crazy business. Yeah, especially when apparently there's more information on it because he wrote a fucking entire book so people know the truth, that his mom was a nurse and she basically stole prescribed medication from her patients. That's the craziest part about it. I mean, it's not shocking that he's just like lying. He's like, yeah, Mexicans brought over the fucking fent that my mom was addicted to. Is just like, what are you talking about? Oh my God, my shoulder is just twitching on its own. Let me see if I can show you. Can you see? It was before, but I moved it now. I moved it around so it's not twitching anymore. I'm gonna put them things away so you guys can actually pay attention to what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Anyway, just watch JD's speech. I feel there's a genuine chance that someday we look back at his career and recognize he was a once-in-a-generation political talent. His intelligence is that high. His fear of confrontation is that low. His presence is palpable. His speaking ability is that natural. His instincts are keen. His story is that inspirational. Yeah. Speaking of which, another striker banger. Speaking of which, this is the guy. This is the political demon.
Are you a racist? Do you hate Mexicans? The media calls us racist for wanting to build Trump's wall. They censor us, but it doesn't change the truth. Joe Biden's open border is killing Ohioans. With more illegal drugs.
I like this argument because it's like, no, racism is actually saving America. Like, he just presents this narrative, which is obviously based on a falsehood. But at this point, might as well treat it like it's the fucking truth because, you know, it just enough people believe it. Because one side keeps lying about it and the other side's not doing a good enough job of like showing what the truth actually is. Even though it's like right there. Even though it's right there, dude. Easy to find. You know what I mean?
Drugs and more Democrat voters pouring into this country. This issue is personal. I nearly lost my mother to the poison coming across our border. No child should grow up an orphan.
You understand? Like, the narrative that he's presenting is built on a falsehood. Immigrants are trafficking drugs over the border is just an abject lie. It's just not true. Okay? His mother also did not get drugs from Mexicans. Okay? His mother, as we now know, stole the drugs as a nurse from her fucking patients. Now, and also immigrants are not voting. That's also another lie. Having said that, however, even if this was correct, there's something so funny about the idea that like being racist is going to solve this problem. It's like when Republicans during COVID would be like, COVID is fake. Okay. It's not real. It's a lie, but also it is real. And China is a Chinese bioweapon. And you have to call it Kung flu or the Wuhan flu and act like Asians are responsible for it in order to deal with it. It's like, how are we, your solution is just like yelling at a random Chinese person who happens to be Vietnamese, but you thought that they were Chinese. That's how we're fixing the COVID issue, which is simultaneously fake and also real when I feel like it, when it suits my argument. Like, yeah, Mexicans are trafficking fentanyl and giving it directly to my mommy. And also the only way to solve this issue is by being racist. Got it. Good argument. Thanks, man.
I'm JD Vance, and I approve this message because whatever they call us, we will put America first.
Cool. Good stuff. Good stuff from JD. Generational talent. So much charisma. He should be blaming the Sacklers, not brown people. Yeah, except that's going to be quite hard for him considering that, you know, he's Ohio Republicans have weighed in on transgender care, abortion, but also insulin health care for immigrants. Hold on. Let me find JD Vance is like compromised on that front as well. JD Vance has a big pharma problem. If that's shocking to you, you know, the U.S. Senate candidate who founded an anti-opioid nonprofit has several close ties to Purdue Pharma. So the hilarity of the situation, the irony of the situation is that like the American pharmaceutical corporation directly responsible for the entirety of the Rust Belt being deeply addicted to opioids, which he loves talking about. Okay. Well, he got money from them. The apparent contradiction, first reported by Politico, stems from vulnerability analysis posted online by Protect Ohio Values, the super PAC through which Vance has raised millions of dollars for his Senate campaign. Because campaign finance law bars any candidates from communicating with their associated super PACs, POV appears to have posted a trove of polling data, strategic documents, and opposition research on a low-profile Medium account for Vance to reference, detailing potential weak spots in his competitors' campaigns as well as his own. Vance's vulnerability analysis reveals that the lawyer turned author who founded a nonprofit dedicated to curbing the opioid epidemic had at one point worked for law firm Sidley Austin LLP in Washington, D.C. During Vance's time there, the firm's lobbying arm was working on behalf of Purdue Pharma, which pleaded guilty in 2020 to criminal charges and faced penalties of roughly $8.3 billion. During that time, Sidley Austin also reportedly represented a Chinese real estate company and lobbied Alibaba Group, a massive Chinese e-commerce platform. But as Senate candidate, Vance has repeatedly called for the U.S. to sever economic ties with the country, calling globalization a gravy train for China. The Associated Press then reported this week that Vance's charity suffered a major conflict of interest when it recruited an AEI resident who never disclosed Purdue's financial contributions to AEI, while favorably citing Purdue-funded studies to argue that prescription painkillers played a significant role in the region's drastic uptick in opioid addiction. According to the Associated Press, Dr. Sally Sadel occasionally shared drafts of the pieces with Purdue officials in advance. And as ProPublica reported in the past, AEI, American Enterprise Institute, by the way, not DEI. American Enterprise Institute is a think tank comprised of demons, some of the worst, received financial support from Purdue totaling $800,000. Okay? Vance's past work may prove a problem in other areas beside Big Pharma. He was with Sidley Austin while the firm filed an amicus brief in support of gay marriage back in 2015. The Supreme Court ruling on Obergefell v. Hodges. Since then, Vance has taken countless swipes at the LGBTQ community. New information also came out that J.D. Vance was literally best friends with someone from Yale. Him and his wife were best friends with a trans person from Yale from their own class that they actually were incredibly supportive of in their private life. However, in public correspondence, of course, J.D. Vance is constantly ripping on trans people nonstop. They brought their friend treats after their top surgery. Okay, that was like as far as hold on. I think Aaron had a. Didn't Aaron have a? Didn't Aaron have a tweet on this? I think. Yeah, his Venmo came out as well. We're going to be analyzing that too. J.D. Vance's trans ex-friend is confused by his hateful words and sudden pro-Trump beliefs. J.D. Vance has a long storied history of anti-LGBTQ beliefs, but his former classmates at Yale University say it wasn't always this way. Donald Trump's official running mate for November presidential election didn't previously hold such extreme views. I wonder where they came from. He also called Trump Hitler, guys. He is a classic politician. That's it. Nelson recently revealed to the New York Times that they've been friends with Vance while they each attended Yale, and that the latter had even been supportive of their transition. Nelson recalled a time shortly after they had undergone top surgery in which Vance brought them home-baked treats as a recovery gift. However, as the years passed and their friend group entered their professions, Nelson noted a stark shift in Vance's beliefs. Their friendship ended in 2021 when the politician voiced a support for a bill in Arkansas banning gender-affirming care for minors. It hurt my feelings when he started to say hateful things about trans people, Nelson told the Times. Oh, here, by the way, he's a bitch who switched up. Don't know whether to cry or laugh. Apparently, one of the reasons Vance radicalized and went from moderate never Trumper to insane MAGA Trumper is because the Netflix movie of his book got panned by liberal movie critics. It was the last straw, according to a friend. I don't think that was the last straw. I think ultimately he was getting a lot of good press from liberal elites. I think he personally saw that this was the Trump party and that he wanted to move in a political fashion to be Peter Thiel's blood boy and his guy inside the room. Because remember, J.D. Vance is Peter Thiel's blood boy. Okay? J.D. Vance is Peter Thiel's guy. Him and Blake Masters were the two candidates of Peter Thiel, dumped a lot of money into their congressional races. J.D. Vance won by, a much slimmer margin than Donald Trump in his respective state. Blake Masters lost because Blake Masters' vibes were absolutely atrocious. So I think that's the real reason why he, made this heel turn. He wanted to win. But here is a pivotal moment, I guess, in his... Vance garnered more support from Thiel during his Senate run in 2022, receiving record-breaking donations, about $15 million from Thiel, which marked the largest amount of money donated to a single Senate candidate ever. When the Hillbilly Elegy movie came out on Netflix in 2020, it was not just critically panned, but greeted with intense online mockery, and the tenuous cultural diplomacy achieved by the book seemed to unravel for good. Rotten Tomatoes audience score 83%, critics score 25%. According to Vance's best friend from Yale, Jamil Giovanni, the wounding commentary was the last straw in his falling out with the elites. I think this is a fun little narrative, but I don't think it's the reason why he did this. J.D. Vance is a political opportunist, and I think he's also too green to shelter
Grindr is experiencing
his obvious political opportunism. Okay? He is too new to be able to hide the truth. Wait, is this where's the article? Can you explain Blood Boy? Peter Thiel is an evil villain, gay libertarian who owns a company called Palantir, which is a surveillance technology. They use artificial intelligence that has defense contracts and is terrifying. He's a Silicon Valley tech CEO who is a psychopathic libertarian. And I mean, he's legitimately a scary dude. He allegedly his boyfriend a couple of years ago died under suspicious circumstances. This is Peter Thiel's kept romantic partner who died under mysterious circumstances. That's all I'm going to say about it. I'm terrified of Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel also openly had blood boys, as in young nubile men who he would get blood transfusions from, like blood doping. That is not a joke. I know it sounds insane. Okay? I know. This is the only time where I can use the word nubile, so I'm going to use it. That is a literal, real thing. Sounds pretty blueing on to me. What? Yeah, it was most famously parodied on the HBO comedy Silicon Valley. That is why I jokingly refer to J.D. Vance as Peter Thiel's blood boy. Anyway, Peter Thiel also successfully took down Gawker for the crime of outing him as a gay man. Gawker outed Peter Thiel because of all of his like right-wing support for homophobic politicians. Gawker went and found that he was actually openly gay in secret, I guess in the closet, not even in the closet, but like he was a gay man. Gawker outed him for it. And then Peter Thiel spent years waiting for the perfect opportunity to take down Gawker, which he successfully did when he found the Hulk Hogan lawsuit. He funded the Hulk Hogan lawsuit against Gawker and put them under such deep financial trouble that they had to shutter their doors. Very vindictive man. Terrifying person. I would say, I mean, I have all the smoke for Elon Musk. I think Elon Musk is a nasty little freak himself. But if there's one guy in the billionaire circle that I'm genuinely afraid of, it's Peter Thiel. Okay? Wasn't Gawker also a pretty awful institution? Where did you are not a billionaire with secrets. You are a regular old person. For you, you should love Gawker. You should love this kind of investigative reporting that they engaged in. Yes, they were dramatic. They had a penchant for drama. But no, it was great. Peter Thiel is a very high IQ individual. Yeah, okay. Some of good old, some of Pete's like good old fashioned insane opinions. I mean, this is an 8-minute TikTok, bro. Like, that's crazy. But I will tell you some of his libertarian opinions. He wants to, he, for example, is the type of dude who like wants to have a Micronesia style island nation outside of the purview of any kind of international. Rutgers frat bros call Yale grad low IQ. If you personally put a lot of emphasis and a lot of weight on what fucking elite institution someone graduated from, you are probably kind of stupid. I wouldn't say low IQ. I don't really place a lot of emphasis on IQ that much, but you're kind of stupid. George W. Bush graduated from Yale. Do you consider George W. Bush to be an intelligent person? You graduating from an elite institution simply just means you had, parents that graduated from there, or you had enough money.
My name is John Summers.
Oh my God, David Graeber went up against Peter Thiel personally? That's crazy. I did not know that this is a thing that happened. Isn't Peter Thiel the exact kind of person conservatives should hate? Yes, but they don't because he funds the Republican Party. Anyway, yeah, Peter Thiel is basically a fucking James Bond villain. Anyway, J.D. Vance, however, is not exactly super smart and very compromised in general. J.D. Vance was in a group chat with a bunch of teenagers where he would routinely shoot the shit with them. Like groypers and wonks and people who just like are really invested in politics. And he would personally just, he would go in there, check in on them, talk to them. Very weird stuff. Okay? So there's that as far as opposition research goes. He is very compromised on that front. Beyond that, He apparently had his Venmo account public, and it shows close ties to many on the far right, including the people behind Project 2025. Senator J.D. Vance's public Venmo account shines a light on the many corners of the Republican vice presidential nominee's inner circle, illuminating his long-standing ties with right-wing fascist, shadowy elites, and federal employees, according to the new report from Wired. It's worth noting that when setting up a Venmo account, the app offers the users the opportunity to sync up their phone contacts. Venmo taking down Republican candidates for vice president. And also just like Republicans across the board is pretty funny. Matt Gaetz, famously, prominent Venmo user. Okay. So some of the people included on the list of Vance's Venmo friends could have been automatically added when he made the account in 2016 and may have never made a transaction with the senator or contacted them recently. Still, the list presents a trove of powerful right-wing voices and some surprising names, too, who could be splitting meals and trips with the Ohio Republican. Among the 200 accounts listed on Vance's Venmo friends list is Amelia Halikius, the government relations director of the Heritage Foundation, the conservative think tank behind Project 2025. Donald Trump and Paul Dans, the project leader, have attempted to create the illusion that the former president is not affiliated with the fascist plan to oust civil servants and replace them with Trump sycophants, but they can't outrun all of the evidence demonstrating that Trump had his hands all over the project. Yeah, it's also the Heritage Foundation. Donald Trump saying he does not have any associations with the Heritage Foundation is like me saying I don't serve 3-minute ad breaks at the top of the hour. That's all I fucking do. Okay? Heritage Foundation is an institution that drives Republican policy. It's a policy think tank that is very prominent. Donald Trump's own personal agenda items that he brought forward are damn near identical to the Heritage Foundation. So it's ridiculous for him to say that. Just like it's ridiculous for you to think that you won't see a 3-minute ad break unless you subscribe for $6 or for free with a Twitch Prime. Because at the top of the hour, there is still a 3-minute ad break. Okay? You can also get gifted a sub if you're lucky. Here's a 3-minute ad break now. Yeah, they write legislation that Congress members don't even read. Exactly. It's ridiculous. Despite all that posturing, Vance has had long-standing public links to the Heritage Foundation. The group's president even said he had been rooting for Vance to get the VP nom. Halikius gave a nod to Vance on Monday, retweeting Elon Musk's comment of Trump's excellent pick of a running mate. Atomic Truth, thank you for the 10 gifted subs. Also present on Vance's friend list is Gladden Papin, a conservative political theorist who serves as the president of the Hungarian Institute of International Affairs. Papin is part of the same new right vanguard as Vance, which has turned to Hungary's authoritarian populist regime and inspiration on how to install Christian nationalist policies nationwide. Perhaps they will also have allegiances to China in the same way that Viktor Orban has had. Papin also co-founded an online publication called the Journal of American Greatness, which attempted to make scholarly arguments out of Trump's talking points, but shut down before the 2016 election. Alongside collaborator Julius Krein, Papin later co-founded American Affairs, a Trumpist magazine that still exists. A bit flippant, thank you for the 5 gifted. Cigarette Overlord, thank you for the 5 gifted. Yeah. 7 thinkers are groups that have shaped J.D. Vance's unusual worldview. His worldview is not unusual, in my opinion, by the way. It's just like a technocratic approach to Donald Trump's right-wing populist mania. A Yale alum, Vance has previously criticized elite universities' expensive daycare centers for coddled children. There's plenty of connections with many attorneys from the expensive lawsuits, including, predictably, his alma mater. Several of these lawyers are employed by the Department of Justice and would therefore be considered Trump's so-called deep state enemies. Of course, that's also a fucking lie. Vance also had links to outright Trump critics such as former Arizona Governor Jeff Flake and Lanny Davis, Michael Cohen's former lawyer. Davis denied being Vance's friend on Venmo. Others on Vance's list include intellectual dark web doyen. What does this word mean? I've never heard this word before. Barry Weiss, hapless conservative news pundit Tucker Carlson, as well as lobbyists from conservative think tanks such as the Hoover Institution and the American Enterprise Institute. None of these people responded to Wired's request for comment. Oh, guru. What you guys need to realize is that Vance is influenceable, wrote Andrew Torba, a right-wing freak, social media CEO who has promoted anti-Semitic content in a post on X. We have plenty of people in his orbit. Plenty of our guys can be put into positions of power because he's there. Our focus should be on pulling him as far right as possible by 2028. Long game, honey, not vinegar. Andrew Torba is the CEO of Gab, by the way, a absolute psychopath. But he is right. He is right in this instance. He does have a lot of groypers in his orbit. J.D. Vance does. Project 2025 isn't even Trump's policy. What are we talking about, man? Is him being tied to Project 2025 people damning in any way? It's literally a platform that the party's running on. I just don't see this meaningfully at all. The only thing that's meaningful about Project 2025 is that it has already been in motion before Trump. Trump definitely implemented certain aspects of it, and it will continue no matter who the right-wing candidate is, because the American Enterprise Institute and the Heritage Foundation run the Republican Party. They are the best at communicating the desires of billionaires directly to the Republican Party. That is what they do. Donald Trump is saying no to Project 2025 and disassociating himself from the Heritage Foundation because he recognizes that people are looking at the Heritage Foundation and looking at Project 2025 and freaking out over it. So he knows that it's actually poisonous to the discourse to associate himself with this fucking think tank. That's it. That's it. That's the only reason why Donald Trump, who is a room reader, recognizes that as not a benefit, because absolutely zero Americans like these shadowy think tanks funded by billionaires. At the end of the day, he actually opposes it. If you think Donald Trump opposes Project 2025, you might be the most delusional person on the fucking planet. Okay? Genuinely. You think Donald Trump actually opposes Project 2025? Why the fuck? Question, bro. No, that's not a question. Okay? That's not a question. Because I'm telling you that he does not oppose it. You are posing it as a question while simultaneously saying, no, he just genuinely opposes Project 2025. That's not, you're posing it as a question, but you're not actually asking a question. Why do people always do this? But how do you know? Because Donald Trump and the actions that he fucking took in office, how do I know genuinely? Because I'm telling you, Donald Trump and the actions that he took in office were damn near identical to the Heritage Foundation. The Heritage Foundation is basically the leading think tank for the Republican Party. And also, the most damning aspects of Project 2025 are basically Republican policy and Republican executive office, like giving more power to the executive office that has been in motion for years prior to Donald Trump's rise to power in the Republican Party. And Donald Trump continued that aspect of Project 2025, including, but not limited to, gutting the federal agencies or literally appointing people who are antithetical to the values demonstrated by these federal agencies. All manner of federal regulatory agencies basically turned into Trumpian weirdos who opposed, like the EPA was filled to the brim. All of the appointments in the EPA were filled to the brim with people who genuinely opposed any kind of regulation on corporations, on environmental policy, things that the EPA was supposed to do. Okay? His cabinet also had Heritage Foundation people in it. Of course it did. Also, it is not a question that you're asking. You're being antagonistic. You're not coming from a curious place, and not a single person in this chat legitimately believes that you're coming from a curious place, because we hear this stuff all the time. We have a joke for it, the just curious Andes. Okay? Stop being antagonistic if you are legitimately curious. Don't come at it from a bad faith angle. You're trying to masquerade as someone who is seeking deeper truths while simultaneously just trying to be as contentious as you possibly can be. You already have your heart set on one aspect. Hasan is such a fucking prick sometimes, bro. I can't stand it. Bye, y'all. This is the reason why a lot of people do this, by the way. People come in here and say, instead of coming in here and being like, Hasan, you're a fucking idiot, Donald Trump doesn't believe in Project 2025, they say, I'm curious, how do you actually know? And then I respond in kind, because the question is already antagonistic in nature. And then other people go, wow, this guy's a real fucking dickhead. Anyway, that kind of bad faith questioning, specifically to like shelter your antagonistic opinions and your contention and your antagonistic thoughts, is very effective in making other people in the margins feel like I'm an asshole. And I am sometimes an asshole, but I will always simply match your energy. If you come in here like a fucking asshole, you might get hit with, a standoffish reaction. That's what you wanted. I gave it to you.
Family shouting out the grandma who raised him, Mama.
She was a woman of very deep Christian faith, but she also loved the F word. I'm not kidding.
To celebrating his mother, now nearly 10 years sober.
I love you, Mom.
and embracing his wife Usha, a lawyer and fellow Yale graduate.
That JD and I could meet at all, let alone fall in love and marry, is a testament to this great country.
Formerly a staunch opponent of Trump, Vance even once suggested his running mate was America's Hitler.
I'm a never Trump guy. I never liked him. I think that he's leading people in a very dark direction.
But the senator...
Oh, God, I can't stand this. I can't stand looking at this motherfucker without the beard, dude. Holy shit, he looks so much worse without the beard.
Has been adamant that Trump's first term in office changed his mind, now adopting his positions on everything from foreign policy, especially the war in Ukraine.
We will make sure our allies share in the burden of securing world peace. No more free rides for nations that betray the generosity of the American taxpayer.
To immigration amid calls in the convention hall to send them back.
Here, yeah. Trump administration embraces Heritage Foundation policy recommendations. January 23rd, 2018. Bro, you are over assuming people's intentions behind the question. Some people are truly ignorant and your audience isn't completely savvy in politics. I answer similar questions every day, chatter. Every day. And I always do it. And chatters will even get mad at me because they're like, bro, you're repeating yourself over and over again. You know why I do it? Because I recognize that reality. Because I recognize my position. Okay? I try to do it to the best of my ability. Okay? The only time where I actually will hurt someone's feelings is if they come in here and you know, try to angle something as genuinely curious when they're not actually genuinely curious. Do you get what I mean? It's the way someone asks the question that matters. There are people who come in here who are actually legitimately curious. They are genuinely curious. The way that they position that question is very important. Do you get it? You feel me? You smell me? Some people are genuinely curious, though. I know. And there is a noticeable marked difference between the way I respond to those guys versus someone who's like, well, what if Trump is actually, I think Trump is actually fucking not interested in the Heritage Foundation at all. That's not a question. Just because you slapped a question mark behind that doesn't change the reality that that wasn't a question. It's called sea lining. I was a nice JC Andy and he answered my questions nicely. Just don't come and chat and be a dick. Yeah, exactly. Now we're having a conversation about like the way I respond to people. Just curious, do you plan on playing the Mr. President's game? Yes. I do plan on playing the Secret Service game of protecting the president.
When we allow newcomers into our American family, we allow them on our terms.
And Vance emphasizing his Midwestern roots, making the case for the Republican ticket.
President Trump represents America's last best hope to restore what, if lost, may never be found again. A country where a working-class boy born far from the halls of power can stand on this stage as the next vice president of the United States.
By the way, the people that like get sucked into the I'm just genuinely curious, why are you a piece of shit type chatters are also the same people who will hear this man say, I'm a Midwestern working class boy and I love America, and go, well, he said the words, so I believe him. There's a lot of gullible people out there. Americans love marketing. And by that, I mean, they love to believe marketing. They love to believe the hype. So as long as someone is like marketing themselves in a certain way, there's plenty of Americans who just simply do not have a fucking bullshit detector and will, you know, believe the person.
United States of America.
Trump, of course, is not even on speaking terms with his first vice president, Mike Pence, who defied pressure from the former president and ultimately ended up certifying.
Yeah, someone should ask, what happened to the last vice president, dude? I think JD Vance simply doesn't understand what's coming for him if he doesn't act right. You know what I mean? But he's such a rat fucker that I think he will probably do whatever Trump wants. Having said that, however, given Trump's track record, given what happens to people that were in Trump's cabinet, given what happened to Donald Trump's former vice president, why was that position vacant is a question that JD Vance should be asking. You know, the gallows will never come for me. Yep.
2020 election results, Senator J.D. Vance has suggested that he would have followed Trump's lead and would have handled that entirely differently. So tonight, here on the fourth and final night, it is Donald Trump's turn to take the stage and officially accept the Republican Party's nomination for president. Now, Trump himself has said that he has ripped up his speech after that attempted assassination on his life to focus more on unity. But after his rhetoric this campaign, we'll have to see whether or not that holds, George.
Right, Rachel. And just to underscore something you just said there, he made it very clear that he would not have certified the 2020 election. Donald Trump may strike a new tone on that stage you see tonight, but that has not stopped the Biden campaign from portraying him as a risky choice for America. And to make that case, they often turn to the former president's own words, which made us wonder how Donald Trump's biggest supporters, the folks right here at the Republican National Convention, would interpret his more controversial quotes. What we found was often not what we expected. Take a look.
One big code is, well, I'm going to be a dictator.
He says, you're not going to be a dictator, are you? I said, no, 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 other than day one. We're closing the border, and we're drilling.
So in essence, what he's saying is, I'm going to make up some executive orders that are going to change the direction that we're going.
For some Republicans, can a blue-collar maintenance man get a shout-out? Lol, the show makes mopping floors a breeze. You got it, Oni Bears. Here for you. I can sympathize with those who come in here acting smarmy and annoying, but when I was caught up in the red pill pipeline and you're pretty much taught to be a smarmy dickhead, I remember watching old Politicon videos of you and always thought you were a jerk, but later I saw you were a way more empathetic of a person when talking about your views. I'm glad I escaped that pipeline and found this community. I hope other people can find it too. Hopefully. That's the goal. I'm glad you're in here, chatter. Come on, guys. He just said he'll be a dictator for one day. Maybe we miss the hogs in this community because like they haven't been around for quite some time. But I'm sure once like there are more hogs in this community, I'll start getting annoyed with them too, because they're going to start doing well, Donald Trump only said he would be a dictator for one day. He was just joking. Like people who are disingenuously framing what Donald Trump is saying and how damaging that will be until I like unwind all of the talking points slowly but surely until they ultimately come out with the truth that they do think that like, you know, deporting tens of millions of people, putting them in concentration camps would be good, because that's ultimately what it comes down to.
There are easy explanations.
A massive fraud of this type and magnitude allows for the termination of all rules, regulations, and articles. So he's talking about the election fraud that he alleges is even those found in the Constitution. He's talking about suspending the Constitution here, it sounds like.
Well, it sounds like it, but I don't think it's going to be hard to implement. I don't think he's going to do it. He's a man, black letter law, not the spirit of.
Others will admit he can be coarse.
You know, this is a famous quote of his: for those who have been wronged and betrayed, I am your retribution.
Well, I think that's a little bit, I think retribution's a little bit strong, but.
A little bit strong.
Yeah. I'm a Marine, so he comes across very Marine-like in what he has to say.
But what often alarms Democrats.
By that she means he's really stupid. Like, I'm a Marine. My favorite crayon flavor is red. And Donald Trump also strikes me as a cherry red kind of guy.
When they let, I think the real number is 15, 16 million people into our country, when they do that, we got a lot of work to do. They're poisoning the blood of our country.
Hasn't even been heard by some Republicans.
He's poisoning the blood of America.
The immigrants, they're poisoning the blood, the people who cross the border illegally. How should an independent voter hear that from Donald Trump?
So I'm not really paying no attention. When you say fake news, I believe some of that be fake news.
Oh my God, dude, this is it. This is the same energy that like Nazis display when they're like, no, you don't get it. Donald Trump actually will secretly hate Israel because he secretly hates Jews. Like Nazis that are pro Donald Trump will just be like, no, I've actually imagined a different world where Donald Trump also believes what I believe. It's the same shit. That's what this guy's doing. He's like, as a older black gentleman who is a conservative at the RNC, okay, he very clearly still recognizes, you know, openly white supremacist rhetoric when he hears it. And obviously that is openly white supremacist rhetoric. So much so that in spite of his undying loyalty to Donald Trump, he's having a moment of cognitive dissonance. He's like, that does seem kind of fucked up.
You don't think he really said this?
I didn't hear him personally.
I mean, it's on YouTube. You can find
a lot of things on YouTube.
And then there are those who have heard the comments.
There's a large of them immigrants that are good.
Yeah, you just gotta, bro, at that point, you just gotta fucking blast it. Like, you had to have that ready. That would have been a perfect moment, dude. That would have been a phenomenal moment where you just go, oh, really? Well, what do you say to this? And just like blast it. Immigrants, poison, blood.
Trump rallying his comments about immigrants at a rally in Durham, New Hampshire.
They're poisoning the blood of our country. That's what they've done.
The Biden campaign.
There you go. Just play the longer clip.
Poisoning the blood of our country. That's what they've done.
You know? And just be like, what's up? What do you say to that? Certified Hasanabi talking point. When you try to explain Republican policy to everyday Republicans, they don't believe you because it sounds comedically evil. Yes. There is literal evidence for this. There have been studies conducted on this. Let me see if I can find it real quick. But yes, when you sit a Republican down and explain to them what Republican policy is, and you explain to them step by step what it is, either they will say, you know what, I like that kind of violence, and demonstrate that they are like openly a fucking rabid fascist, or they simply will refuse to believe you. Okay? This is also partially where like the poll shyness conversation comes from. The idea that like Republicans sometimes hide their real beliefs because they also understand that like their real beliefs might be really truly abhorrent, you know? So they keep it close to their chest.
People, I'm an immigrant myself, but the ones that are coming from the Middle East, they are terrorists.
So poisoning the blood to you is a reference to Middle Eastern
For me, it's trying.
Oh, she's saying he's only specifically saying that to Middle Easterners. That somehow makes this okay. Never mind. Dude, Islamophobia is so incredibly commonplace, is so incredibly normalized in American society that like a person literally personally thinks that they can just openly be like, no, it's not Mexicans. Okay? That would be kind of fucked up, even though I am kind of on board with that. It's actually Muslims, Arabs.
Not to bring terrorists into America, defending freedom.
What these Trump supporters take away.
Now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole. That's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country.
Is often not what Democrats argue is being communicated. For example,
it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole country.
We've had a lot of violence coming out of the left. And so when he says that, he's very clear.
Like, how do you deal with this person? We have a lot of violence coming out of the left. Like, what planet are you fucking living on? Okay? Because it's certainly not this one. Oh, they're doing it. Bro, Middle Eastern doesn't mean Muslim, though. Yeah, that lady was talking about Middle Eastern Christians and Middle Eastern Jews, dude. Oh, here it is. We got it. We're getting them now. They're doing the disingenuous framing. Yeah, she meant Middle Eastern. She literally said Middle Eastern terrorists. What do you think? You think she's talking about like atheist terrorism coming from Middle East? You think she's talking about Christian terrorism coming from the Middle East? Or do you think in her mind Middle Eastern is synonymous with Muslim, and Muslim is obviously another word for terrorism? I'm Syrian Christian and we are seen that way too. Yes, you fucking idiot. You are seen that way because they think you're Muslim because you're from the Middle East. What are you saying? Do you think people come to me and they find out that my name is Hassan and that I'm from fucking Turkey and go, oh, this guy whose name is Hassan is probably a very progressive, pretty secular guy? No, they don't. They call me the sand N-word after they find out what my background is. Because obviously Islam is, one, heavily racialized, and Islamophobia is heavily racialized, and two, it is just basically a catch-all for Muslim. And Muslim is a substitute for terrorist. So why do you keep calling yourself white? Because whiteness is a political construct. And look at me. That's why. If my name was fucking Hank and you never knew about my background, you would never think that I'm anything but white. You might think I'm like a little spicy, maybe Italian or some shit, because I'm swarthy, I guess, because I'm a little bit hairier than the average white guy, but that's it. I don't know why we have to have this conversation all the fucking time. I have a lot of privilege. I have a lot of privilege because of the way I look.
You hear him talking about the left.
It's going to be a bloodbath because they're not going to tolerate Trump being president anymore.
In this election year, perhaps like all the others, what matters most is not what's said.
If this election isn't won, I'm not sure that you'll ever have another election in this country.
But who's saying it?
I don't think you're going to have another election in this country if we don't win this election. What do you hear?
A comment like that is absolutely the farthest thing from the truth.
Well, but this is a Donald Trump quote. This is what he said at a rally.
Yes, dude. CBS Morning doing Jordan Klepper bits is pretty funny. I love that. Okay, we need more of this. Okay, please, more of this, please and thank you. Oh my God, I'm so on fucking board. I'm so goddamn, I'm on board with this shit, dude. That's fire. Straight fire. Bro, they're glitching. Watch them. Watch their faces, bro. Look, oh my God. Look.
Here, a comment like that is absolutely the farthest thing from the truth.
Well, but this is a Donald Trump quote. This is what he said at a rally, and you know, this is something that the Democrats will use.
I see. No, I see.
So, how do you interpret this line from Donald Trump?
I think he had a lot of concerns about the last election.
Well, now that I found out it was Trump who said it, I agree with it. I love seeing this fucking cognitive dissonance display in real time. Like his brain literally reset, dude. His brain he short-circuited. It literally flipped the on and off switch in real time. Well, now that I know who said it, the equation is very different. My calculation is very different.
And especially whether or not all the results were accurate. And I think with that mindset, he made that statement, wondering whether or not, if this election were rigged, what would be the cause for future generations. When you first read that statement, I thought you were...
This is why Trump is so dangerous. His supporters 100% don't care about the truth, reality, or facts. Brother, if you think that this is unique to Donald Trump and not like the entire Republican Party, I don't know what to tell you. And this is not even unique to like the Republican Party even. There are some Democrats who also operate with this mindset too. Okay? Liberals do this shit too. You're watching the Biden dead enders currently chirp in the exact same fashion. Watch fucking 5 minutes of Joe Scarborough and tell me that he is not feeding into that same frenzy, but on the blue and on side. Okay? The major difference with Donald Trump versus like the rest of the Republican lineup is that Donald Trump has the capacity to develop this like parasocial relationship because he's very telegenic and he's very charismatic to certain subsects of the American population. Okay? He's very good at channeling the frustration and the resentment that that people feel to whatever his own personal agenda is. Like Joe Rogan with that British took our airports quote. He mocked Biden for it, then instantly switched up when he got fact checked. Wait, what?
Attributing it to President Biden. Yeah, and then when you tell me that it's Trump, doesn't that tell you a little bit about what's going on in this country today when we have both major party candidates making...
Wait, what? No, this doesn't tell us anything about society. This only tells us everything about you and your own biases and how you operate. Oh, I love when people just immediately resort to society. Yeah. This thing that you just did to me that demonstrated that I'm like literally a fucking idiot and so unimaginably biased. Yeah, it says a lot about society. Yeah, it does. It says that society thrives with dumbasses like you. Okay?
Similar statements about the other.
Well, I think it does.
They do that to you every day. Yeah, it's the classic. Like, there was in 2021, when I bought the house, in the most radical anti-communist act that I could have ever taken, there was a sequence of like an entire year where people would just like straight up lie about things about me. And then it would come out that it was just an abject lie. And people would then turn around and instead of being like, yeah, actually, okay, my bad. Maybe I'll just like reconsider the way I interpret news about socialist Andy living in a gated community mansion, killing his editors, blah, blah, blah. Instead of being like, oh yeah, I was duped because of my, because of all of this fucking drama and all of this like hatred that I have for this man, right? They would immediately turn around and be like, it says a lot about society that I could believe that he was, I could believe that this was true. It's like, no, man, that's not how this works. What do you mean? It tells me a lot about Hassan that I could believe him, that I could believe that he had said this. My friend thought you were making a content house with Sneeko. That's insane. You are still on the Gen Z subreddit as a socialist guy who hypocritically bought a house and everybody hates you, Lamau. Yeah, I know. Everybody hates me so much hatred. No, to me, if someone has like a legitimate amount of anger and resentment towards me, and they're not like a diehard right winger, it just means that they're extremely online. Fuck it. Even when they are even if they're a right winger, that still means that they're extremely online. You're talking about a fucking Twitch streamer, big dog. Okay, if a Twitch streamer, if a random fucking Twitch streamer carries this much resentment and weight in your mind, you are unimaginably online. Okay, that's it.
But not in quite the way he was referring there. I think, by the way, he was talking about Joe Biden calling Donald Trump a threat to democracy. But I didn't expect to be quoting Brene Brown this morning, a prior guest of our show. But a line from her actually came to me as I was having these conversations, which is, we think that we are rational beings that are sometimes emotional, but in fact, we are emotional beings who are only sometimes rational, especially, it seems, with politics.
Spot on. And it's not always the message, it's the messenger. All right, Tony, we appreciate you, man. Thank you so
that was
much.
great. Tony, thanks so much.
We are hours away from the main event. Former President Donald Trump accepting the GOP nomination for the third time. Our Jay O'Brien joins me now. We are in the home stretch, Jay. But I do want to start with Democrats, if that's okay, because we've been talking about this Washington Post reporting. Former President Obama, rather, apparently privately expressing concerns to fellow Democrats about Biden's candidacy. What do you think? I know I've asked you this a number of times as news develops, but is the dam really about to break now on Biden's campaign?
I think that's the interesting question here. So there have been, as we hear a mic check on the stage, by the way, there have been a couple of intervals where we thought.
I think most of your positions are dumb, but I don't hate you for it. Doing the fish. Many on the right refuse to even listen to what the other side says. That's the first step, baby. Take the pill. Take the motherfucking bread pill. Okay? Oh, that's how it starts. There are some shittily translated clips of you on Bilibili that doesn't capture your sarcasm, and some people think you're anti-China because of it. I try to cover for you and say, for an American, you're as pro-China as it gets. What do you mean for an American? Internationally, I'm as pro-China as it gets. For a Chinese man, I'm as pro-China as it gets. The fuck are they talking about?
Maybe the dam had been patched up, and then it had been kind of reopened, reignited. One of them was those comments Nancy Pelosi made on Morning Joe. Remember those, where she kind of left the door open for Biden potentially not running again. And then just yesterday, Adam Schiff comes out, says that he doesn't believe Biden should run again. That also kind of reignites this tension in the party after we had thought maybe Biden had put it to rest a little bit. And now this reporting as it relates to not just former President Obama, who's a huge figure in the Democratic Party, but also we know from our Jonathan Karl's reporting, Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, also expressing different variations of concern, if not outright doubt, that Biden could win in November in private conversations with Biden. That is what the Washington Post reports, that President Obama has privately expressed to allies as well, that he doesn't believe that Biden has a very open path to victory come November. All of that to say, we've been talking about these frontline Democrats, but also just these rank and file Democrats who
I think it's pretty funny that Morning Joe yesterday, as the chatter also pointed out, Morning Joe yesterday was begging Barack Obama to come out and swing for Biden. And then Barack Obama did come out, but the way he swung was not the way that Morning Joe wanted. Okay. Oh God. Do we have the Morning Joe from today? I wonder what they said today, because I love tuning in to see the copium session.
privately believe that Biden can't win in November, who have maybe not publicly expressed it.
We got the BET interview as well, but
to leave the ticket. With all of these notables in the party, either reportedly or in some cases publicly, coming out and saying Biden should not be the candidate, it gives air cover for those rank and file Democrats to come out and for the floodgates to open. But even if the floodgates open, A, Biden will be the nominee unless he chooses to step aside, and B, the open question here is how big of an impact do...
Wait. Oh, fuck. This person blocked me. God damn it. So many fucking liberals block me. So am I being dramatic when I asked if this is the donors' version of storming the Capitol, asking on behalf of 14 million primary voters? Yes! Yes! And Miranda, I love you. I love you so much. It's just like January 6th. This is akin. Liberals have now compared it to rape, that Joe keeps saying no and says no means no, demanding that our 800-year-old president, who is imaginably, like, historically unpopular in the lead up to an election, is just like rape. And now what's worse? January 6th. In the mind of a liberal, January 6th is worse than 9/11, and therefore worse than rape as well. So now they're comparing it to the worst thing that they could compare it to, January 6th, which is kind of like 9/11, but like maybe 9/11 times 8, I would say. I love this shit, dude. Fuck. I love it. Yeah, they said it's rape, it's anti-black racism, and also a fascist coup. Yes!
These party notables have on Joe Biden. Remember, when all this speculation first started percolating, we were thinking, what does Nancy Pelosi think? What does Chuck Schumer think? What does Barack Obama think? These huge luminaries in the party, what do they think? And will they be able to move Joe Biden from that position? Now, as this story has progressed, we're not even certain that they are going to have tons of sway when it comes to Joe Biden. Certainly not much more sway than his family would.
Yeah, and as we follow...
Wait, is Joe Biden black? Yes. Haven't you heard? He's a black woman. I mean, yes.
Follow, of course, those developments back to just the theme of what the RNC is talking about today, and that's Make America Great Once Again. This is also Trump's first speech since that attempted assassination attempt over the weekend. What do you think we're going to hear tonight?
Well, Trump has said, he's told our Jonathan Carl, again, some John reporting, that he has rewritten the speech, that he is looking to focus on unity. But what kind of unity, we don't know. And that's, frankly, a question that goes out pretty much every day on the floor down there. Everyone down there says they want unity, but when you ask them what do they mean, when they say unity, some people say, well, we mean unity within the Republican Party, bringing those Nikki Haley moderates back into the fold. Some say we want unity across the entire country. We want, reaching out across the aisle. Obviously, the first one is a little bit more common down there on the floor than the second one. But point being is that's a question that Donald Trump has to confront tonight. He has said he wants to talk about unity. What kind of unity is he talking about, Kira?
Yeah, good point. We're all going to be trying to read between the lines, aren't we? Jay, thank you. Let's continue the conversation now with our Washington Bureau Chief and Political Director, Rick Klein. Rick, let's start with you and with the Washington Post reporting on former President Obama now and these concerns that he apparently has expressed about Biden's candidacy. Let's take that reporting plus this new poll showing 65% of Democrats now say that President Biden should actually step aside. 65%. How much longer, Rick, do you think he can hold on?
This is so
the drumbeat is growing, and I just was texting with a source close to the former president who says that his goal, as always, is to doing what's best for Joe Biden and his legacy, almost speaking in the past tense, although not confirming that he has shared the view that Biden should get out. He has not spoken, I'm told, to Biden in several weeks. But there's no doubt about the way that this has flipped just in the last day or two between top elected officials like Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, Nancy Pelosi. They're speaking almost with one voice right now, saying that what's best for the party should be him to step aside. The polling would suggest the same. The question becomes what Biden himself wants to do, because he is the presumptive nominee. The fact that he is now self-isolating in Delaware might give him, frankly, a little bit of a reprieve, because I think there's people that are going to be hesitant to do it while he is ill at all. But I think that this drumbeat will continue. If he does not get out of the race, you're going to start to hear more people through the weekend and into early next week. It is become quite a scene for Democrats, a huge distraction, even as the Republicans have showcased unity here in Milwaukee.
I'm Ed Gordon. Tonight, a bead.
All right, before we get to, yes, I'm going to watch Morning Joe. I'm gonna skip the morning Joe because we have to see the copium. We have to see the copium. Oh my God. Oh my Lord. I'm so excited about this. Look at this post. They're losing their minds. Oh my God. He wrote so much. Oh my God. Oh my God. I mean, this is like, this deserves like a checkup. This deserves like a wellness check. This should be treated like a fucking manifesto, bro. What the hell? What the hell's going on, man? Yo, libs are not all right. Okay, they are not all right. That's my alt. My B went on a little tangent. Oh, we got more. We got blue and on blue
no,
MAGA.
Joe. It's as simple as that. We know Joe, Adam Schiff, Nancy Pelosi, and every other Democrat that is continuing this noise, telling him to step aside. Stop. The voters have already said we stand behind him. We voted for.
He's so jacked. I trust him. Look at his bicep veins, dude. He is so mad. He's so mad that the damn near entirety of the Democratic Party's base of support is like, hey, maybe we should replace the guy who is a carcass. This is a conservative op. 34, I'm Kitty 50. Thank you for the 50 big ones, by the way. Blue and on, my goat.
For him in the primaries. You think all of a sudden we just forgot that he was old then? We know what age he is, but we know him. We know he stood beside a black man, the first black president, for 8 years and did not attempt to usurp his authority.
Wait, what? He was supposed to do a coup? Like what? What do you mean? Wow, dude. White mediocrity in display, okay? God damn, the expectations are so low. Yeah, well, this guy was the VP of a black president, and he didn't kill the president to become the president himself. Okay, cool. I guess that's good, you know?
We know that he elected the first black.
What's this guy gonna do when he finds out that the first black president is now also behind closed doors demanding that Joe Biden step down? Also, once again, Joe Biden's vice president is a black woman. Everyone is saying Joe Biden should be replaced by a black woman. Okay? Why is Joe Biden seen as more black than a black woman in this equation? Why does no one acknowledge Kamala Harris? See, what you don't understand is Joe Biden is actually black. Kamala Harris, on the other hand, not black. What the fuck? Because she's a cop? No, dude. What do you mean? Kamala Harris was a cop. Joe Biden was homies with segregationists and wrote one of the most damaging bills, dude. Like, if there's, in that equation, if there's a person who's like literally worse than a cop, it's Joe Biden. What the fuck are you talking about?
Female vice president and elected her to be his vice president. Not elected, but nominated her, picked her. You know what I'm trying to say. Then he put the first black woman Supreme Court justice on the high court.
Okay, so he recognizes that Kamala Harris is a black woman and is the vice president, but refuses to recognize that people are saying, like, she should be the replacement?
We know, Joe. Super PACs don't speak for us. We vote for you.
Yeah, except, once again, polling is done on this quite frequently, and it's not super PACs that are saying Joe Biden should drop out. It's the American population and a very significant majority of Democratic Party voters. He's a Biden or buster. He's even has the Biden aviators. Yeah.
And we're telling you, leave him alone. You think we can replace somebody this close to the election?
Yes.
When all kinds of technicality crap can happen?
No, that's not a thing. Joe Biden is not the nominee yet. So, yes, we can replace him. And the technicality crap is just something you made up. Or maybe you read it somewhere on a Twitter thread.
A house divided against itself will not stand. You know the reason why the Republicans, even though the man is a convicted felon, you know why they are still?
Bro's got hella biceps though, so I think we should listen to him. No, I know. I'm listening. No, I'm listening. I'm sitting my white ass down and I'm listening, okay? I'm listening to those biceps speak, baby. Got fucking, he's like, liberals don't want gun control, okay? I got to right to bear arms myself.
Able to function because they are together. They are unified.
Bro's only hit bicep day at the gym, by the way. I mean, he's got nice pectorals too, but god damn, his biceps are like his biceps are hypertrophied.
Behind a corrupt traitor who stole classified documents and took them to Mar-a-Lago, who put federal judges on the bench. That's the reason why he's able to delay everything. Who put Supreme Court justices on the High Court that pretty much said he's immune. Stop with the noise. I'm passionate because I care about this thing called democracy, freedom. And I'm an actor, and I've been blessed to work in great films. Last movie was nominated for 3 Academy Awards and a couple Golden Globes. If I don't work again, I'm okay.
Wait, what? What has he acted in? Do we know, chat? He acted in his video?
If it means standing up for democracy. Now stop it.
Damn, he just dropped that. He took the glasses off and said that he was an actor with awards. Oh, this is funny. Fuck you, Adam Schiff. Shh, Adam Schiff is speaking, says Brooklyn Dad defiant. Now, Brooklyn Dad defiant against Adam Schiff. He was in 100 Mules. He was one of the people stealing the votes from old people. Dinesh D'Souza's award-winning documentary 100 Mules. Oh, that's so good. That's so stupid. That's the only place where that joke lands is this community. There's no other place. 2,000 Mules is what it was called. Okay, well, he could single-handedly be 100 of those 2,000 mules. Look at those fucking biceps, dude. He could be doing the job of 100 mules himself. Oh, I love liberal copium. I can't read this. This is too much. So we're gonna get to this man right here who's probably not having a very good morning. Probably a very bad morning, okay? In these trying times, I'm not going to lie to you, Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski have made me a fan, okay? Morning Joe turned into Morning Joe with a U. Morning for Joe Biden. It's so much fun watching them cope. It's like watching news coverage from a different dimension. Like virtually every outlet is like ringing the alarms and these guys are on a totally different wavelength because they have one person watching that they care about. The sexual tension between these two is palpable. Oh, you mean the sexual tension between those two and Joe Biden, I think.
Sobering message he got yesterday from congressional leaders. And his biggest fundraiser was simple. We're losing. You're losing.
Wait, what happened? Wait, but you were saying yesterday, fuck those donors. Jeffrey Katzenberg comes out and is like, bro, they're not giving us money no more. And all of a sudden you're acting different. I thought Joe had the will of the people. I thought Joe was representing specifically all the black votes. Okay. Yo, chill. Yo, don't switch up on him now. Don't do it. Yesterday, we were here yesterday when he was saying Obama needs to come out and defend Joe Biden. Where is Obama? Today, Obama came out and was like, at the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break. All right. If you don't like your ad break, you can keep it. You can subscribe for $5, $6 now, or for free with a Switch Prime. You can also get gifted a sub. Gifted subs for all. Here's the 3-minute ad break now. White Twinkie, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Allowing 5 people to no longer see the ads at the top of the hour. Rooting for you, thank you for the 5 gifted. Let me be queer. 34 MKD50, thank you for the 50 gifted. And Pussy 2 in Rainbow 09, thank you for the 5 gifted. I went to the Duluth Dyson. Let me be queer. Absolutely zero people were thinking that I was going to fucking pop off with an Obama voice and turn that into a segue. Anyone that says they saw that coming is just a liar, okay? Neon Majestic, thank you for the 5 gifted.
And you're going to run out of money. Because the donors.
Obama question mark? Yes, it's not that good. Still not as good as generic black guy impressionist Steven Crowder. I know. 34, I'm getting 50 with another 50 big bones.
Have left. So I don't know what those 2 or 3 in his inner circle are going to say to that. But the fact is, they don't know more than Nancy Pelosi about polling. They don't know more about contributors than Jeffrey Katzenberg, who's dedicated a good chunk of...
Oh, now he cares about the donors. Wait, I'm sorry. When did that happen? How'd that happen? I thought he was saying these big donors, these billionaires, like, who gives a fuck what they have to say? All of a sudden, I guess he's a big Quibi fan. He's Mr. Quibi himself. He's like, oh no, not my favorite billionaire mega donor.
Damn, this guy's good.